Imagine turning on a Windows 11 PC and suddenly booting into macOS without touching the internal Windows drive. Sounds impossible, right? Well, today we're going to find out if you can actually install macOS onto an external drive, run it completely independently from Windows, and then take that exact same drive and boot it on a completely different PC. And here's where this experiment gets interesting. The first drive I'm using is just a basic USB flash drive. If that works, we could have an incredibly portable macOS installation. But there's a problem. An operating system constantly reads and writes data, and a cheap USB flash drive isn't exactly designed for that kind of workload. So there's a very real chance our first attempt could fail. And if it does, I already have a second storage solution ready. So let's start with the first test and see just how far this little USB drive can actually go. For this experiment, I'm using this mini Dell PC running Windows 11. It has an Intel Core i5-9500, 8 GB of RAM, and a single internal drive. Normally, if I wanted to install macOS on this machine, I'd have to replace Windows or configure a dual boot setup on the internal drive. But I don't want to touch the Windows installation, so we're going completely external. For the first test, I'm using a SanDisk Ultra 64 GB USB flash drive. It's definitely not a high-end storage device, but it's what I have available, and that's exactly what makes this test interesting. If we can actually get macOS running from this thing, it would be a surprisingly simple portable setup. I'm going with macOS Sonoma for this experiment. The USB drive needs to be prepared first, so I'll partition it into two sections. One small fat 32 partition will be used for the setup files, while the remaining space will be prepared for macOS. Then I'll create the required EFI and recovery folders using OpenCore. Once everything is ready, I'll copy the EFI and recovery folders onto the setup partition. And that's it. The drive is ready. Now comes the moment of truth. I'll restart the mini PC, boot directly from the USB drive, and see if we can actually reach the macOS recovery environment. And we made it. We're actually inside the macOS recovery environment. That's already a good sign. From here, I'll open Disk Utility and format the remaining partition as APFS so macOS can be installed onto it. Then I'll start the macOS Sonoma installation. And now, we wait. 2 hours and 32 minutes? Seriously? This is already looking very different from a normal macOS installation. Usually, an installation like this takes around 20 to 30 minutes. But this USB drive is crawling. The installation has been running for over an hour, and everything is painfully slow. The system is constantly reading and writing data, and this basic flash drive is being pushed extremely hard. But here's the question, will it eventually finish, or is this little USB drive about to completely fail? I'm going to let it continue and see what happens. After waiting even longer, I came back to check the installation. And nothing. The screen is completely frozen. The entire setup has locked up. Something has definitely gone wrong. And that's when I realized the mistake. The problem probably wasn't macOS itself. It was the storage. This is just a basic USB flash drive. It's designed for moving files around, not continuously reading and writing operating system data for hours. The drive was running at full capacity, constantly being hammered by the installation process, and eventually it simply couldn't keep up. Even worse, this thing is absolutely burning hot. I honestly don't know if I just killed the USB drive. So the first attempt is officially a failure. But I'm not giving up yet, because I have a much better storage solution. And this time, we're going to use something that's actually designed to run an operating system. For round 2, I'm switching to an external SSD enclosure with a 500 GB Samsung SATA SSD. This should be a completely different experience. We're starting from scratch. I'll create the same partition layout, copy the EFI and recovery folders over, connect the SSD to the mini PC, and boot into the macOS installer again. And immediately, this already feels different. Everything is significantly faster. The installer is responding properly, and we're no longer waiting forever for basic operations. But there's still one moment that always makes me nervous. The screen is filling with lines of code. The Apple logo appears, and then a white screen. Is it stuck? For a few seconds, nothing happens. And then, finally, the macOS setup screen appears. That's it. We've made it. After completing the basic setup, macOS Sonoma is officially running from the external SSD. And the really interesting part is that we haven't touched the Windows installation on the internal drive. Let's check the hardware. The system sees the Intel i5 processor, Intel UHD 630 graphics, and 8 GB of RAM. And the interface feels surprisingly smooth. There is no obvious stuttering or lag. In fact, it feels much closer to a normal internal installation than I expected. But I don't want to stop at simply getting to the desktop, because booting successfully doesn't necessarily mean the system is actually usable. So now we're going to stress it. First, let's open a few websites. Reddit loads quickly. Scrolling is responsive. Everything feels normal. Now let's try YouTube. 1080p? No problem. 1440p? Still fine. And even 4K video playback is surprisingly stable. Honestly, I expected the external connection to become a major bottleneck, but so far, it's holding up. And now I'm going to push it even harder. I'm opening multiple YouTube tabs and playing videos simultaneously. And look at this. The system is still running. No major stuttering. No obvious freezing. This external SSD is handling the workload much better than that original USB flash drive ever could. But there's still one test I really want to try. What about gaming? Let's launch Minecraft using Legacy Launcher. It actually runs. The frame rate is hovering around 60 FPS, and I'm not seeing any obvious stuttering. I've been playing for several minutes now, and the system remains surprisingly stable. So at this point, we've already proven something important. Running macOS externally isn't just technically possible. With the right storage, it can actually be usable. But now there's a much bigger question. Remember why I wanted an external drive in the first place? Portability. If macOS is completely installed on this external SSD, can I unplug it from this mini PC, connect it to a completely different computer, and boot the same installation, with all of my files still there? That would be a much bigger test. And that's exactly what we're going to try next. For the second test, I'm using a Dell Inspiron 5498 laptop. This machine is completely different. It's running Ubuntu Linux and has an Intel i5-10210U processor with 8 GB of RAM. The macOS installation itself is still sitting safely on the external SSD. So, theoretically, I shouldn't need to reinstall anything. But there's one major problem. Hackintosh installations are extremely sensitive to hardware. The EFI configuration that worked perfectly on the mini Dell isn't necessarily going to work on this laptop. And that's where things get complicated. The EFI is essentially what tells OpenCore how to boot macOS on the specific hardware. So instead of reinstalling macOS, I'm going to keep the existing installation and create a new EFI specifically for this Dell laptop. But I'm doing this from Linux, and that's where things get annoying. OpenCore doesn't simply scan everything automatically in this setup. I need a JSON file containing the laptop's hardware information. Luckily, there's a companion tool called Hardware Sniffer that can extract the required information from Linux. So, terminal time. And if you've ever worked with Linux commands, you already know where this is going. One wrong character can break the entire process. After fighting with the terminal for a while, I finally generated the hardware information and fed it into OpenCore. Now the tool can start building an EFI specifically for this laptop. And there's another problem. The laptop has an MX250 GPU. macOS Sonoma doesn't support it properly in this configuration, so I'm going to disable it and force the system to use the Intel UHD graphics instead. After configuring the ACPI settings and generating everything, we finally have a custom EFI. Now comes the scary part. I'm plugging the external SSD back into the laptop. The original EFI is still there. I simply renamed it so I can switch back if something goes wrong. The new EFI is now ready. Everything is connected. Time to restart. I'm selecting the external macOS installation from the OpenCore boot menu. And now we're back to the same thing that made me nervous on the first attempt. Lines of code. More lines. More waiting. And then, the Apple logo. Come on. And we're in. macOS Sonoma has booted on the completely different laptop. No reinstall. No new macOS installation. The exact same external SSD has carried the installation from one PC to another. And now I want to know if everything actually survived the hardware change. Both partitions appear on the desktop. The system recognizes the new hardware. The screen brightness controls are working. Wi-Fi is working. And here's the crazy part. All of my previous data is still there. It's the same macOS installation. The same files. The same configuration. Even Legacy Launcher is still installed. Let's launch the game again. And the same Minecraft world I was playing earlier loads up. Everything is still there. That's the real power of keeping macOS on an external SSD and changing the EFI configuration for different hardware. So, after all of this, what did we actually prove? The first attempt with the basic USB flash drive was a complete failure. The installation was painfully slow, the drive overheated, and eventually the setup froze. But switching to a proper external SSD changed everything. macOS Sonoma installed successfully. It ran smoothly. So yes, running macOS from an external drive is absolutely possible in this experiment. But there's an important lesson here. The storage device matters enormously. A cheap USB flash drive might technically have enough capacity, but that doesn't mean it's suitable for running an operating system. An external SSD is a much more sensible solution for this type of workload. And portability comes with another requirement. Different hardware may require a different EFI configuration. That's why the second PC wasn't simply plug and play. But once the EFI was configured correctly, the same installation and the data on it could boot successfully. So the experiment started with a cheap 64GB USB drive that nearly gave up and ended with a portable macOS installation running from a 500GB external SSD across two different PCs. Honestly, that makes the whole experiment worth it. Would you actually build a portable macOS drive like this? Let me know what you think. If you found this video useful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to TechGetter Official, and turn on notifications for more updates. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.